WTMJ.com/contests. It's time for another NL Central Throwdown at American Family Field.
Fly ball hit to center. Backing up is Ciani. Still back. Ciani onto the track. Leaps up. It is gone!
The Brewers and Pirates face off with coverage starting tonight at 6:05 on your home of the Milwaukee Brewers. News Radio 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
At 1 o'clock, it's 50 degrees in Milwaukee. Clearing skies tonight at a low of 46. Beautiful day on Wednesday with a high of 70 inland, 62 near the lake. At 101 from the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, I'm Greg Matzik. Governor Tony Evers ordering a special election to fill the seat of outgoing state senator Lena Taylor.
In January, Evers appointed Taylor to become a Milwaukee County Circuit Court judge. The special election for Taylor's Senate seat will be held July 30th, and if a primary is necessary, that would be held July 2nd. Meanwhile, former U.S. Congressman Mike Gallagher's 8th District seat is also vacant. Evers says that will be filled with a special election coinciding with the general election in November. Gallagher announced Monday his new leadership position within Green Bay venture capital firm Titletown Tech. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Well, the tents are gone, but frustration remains over how UW-Milwaukee handled the removal of a pro-Palestinian protest encampment.
The Milwaukee Jewish Federation is ripping UWM's response to the demonstrators who spent 2 weeks living in tents on campus. The Federation accuses Chancellor Mark Money of capitulating to protesters who it says broke the law, vandalized property, and fueled anti-Semitism on campus. Money announced an agreement to remove the tents over the weekend. In a statement, the Federation questioned why he would agree to give protesters who fueled hate a seat at the table. It's now calling on the UW system to negate the deal and ensure that all students can feel safe on campus. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
As promised, a meeting held between the UW Foundation, administrators, and student protesters today. Students sharing their concerns regarding the UWM Foundation investments and the foundation president agreeing to share those concerns with the full board. UWM officials reiterated that no promises were made beyond facilitating the meeting. The May 12th agreement that ended the 10 encampments at UWM also clarified that future encampments will not be tolerated. Ascension Hospital continues navigating the fallout from a ransomware attack last week. Patient Annette Strini tells TMJ4 News she's been directed by Ascension to utilize other healthcare systems in the region.
I was told we'll go to Aurora or Freighter, but my insurance doesn't cover that. How would I pay the bills? I'm tired. I'm not getting the right answers because nobody really knows.
And the NFL Draft football is officially in Wisconsin. Governor Tony Evers acknowledging the impact of the 2025 NFL Draft on the state of Wisconsin.
Folks, this is a win-win-win for our state. An effort that's expected to have a nearly $100 million positive impact across the state. That's a lot of money.
And the ball is on its way to Green Bay via bicycle for a ceremony later tonight. The Packers will then officially start the countdown clock to the 2025 NFL Draft in Green Bay. It'll be held next spring. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow lagging about 14 points at 39,418. S&P 500 up about 5.5 points at 5226. And the NASDAQ up today about 59 points at 16,447. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, and Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Signing at Limited, WTMJ News Time is 1:05.
Thrifters can spot great deals from a mile away. And here the term great deal is an understatement. The lowest prices on men's, women's, and children's clothing. Toys, furniture, housewares, jewelry, and accessories. Bikes, books, games, and more. And every time you're here, you'll find something new. So if you're thrifty, you'll find this place is pretty nifty. St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores, Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, and 23rd and Lincoln in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost, free tire repair, and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements is we put them on for you. Buy one or a whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin, Milwaukee, Waukesha, Fort Atkinson, and Jefferson. Griffin, the buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Yard work, playing with the kids, getting back out on the boat, things that should be enjoyable, not painful. Vince Vitrano for Connect Chiropractic, where I've been seeing Dr. Alex Young and his team for nearly a year. My neck, back, and shoulder feeling so much better. It's not just that. Did you know regular chiropractic care can help with sciatica, vertigo, great for athletes, and all without twisting, cracking, or popping? Connect Chiro Docs use a special tool for all the adjustments so there's no discomfort. Learn more or book your first appointment now at Go Connect Chiro. That's GoConnectChiro.com.
Rose Gray from Fox World Travel here to bring you exciting news. In partnership with Globus, Insight Vacations, and Avalon Waterways, our 2025 Fox Group Vacations collection is now available. Whether you want to explore Europe, Hawaii, Asia, or beyond, by land or river, our award-winning Fox Group Vacation experts have handcrafted exclusive experiences for people seeking to explore the world. Visit foxworldtravel.com or call 866-GO-FOX-GO. Join us and make memories to last a lifetime.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Call. That's all. Sports Desk. Brewers dropped the opening game of a 3-game series against the Pirates. They'll try again tonight in Game 2. Coverage begins at 6:05 on WTMJ. NFL's regular season schedule will be revealed on Wednesday, and UW Green Bay is expected to hire radio show host Doug Gottlieb as its next head men's basketball coach. It's being reported that Gottlieb will continue his Fox radio show while serving as head coach. Time for a look at your roads. The WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic update. Problem areas include your usual spots here. 43 southbound, Brown Deer to downtown, going to run you 14 today through the construction zone. Similar construction issues and more than just a tap on the brakes. 894 westbound, Mitchell to the Hale. It's going to take you 9 today. It's about a 4-minute delay. Otherwise, you're cruising right along the system this afternoon.
Traffic is sponsored by Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Design Exchange is where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Clearing skies eventually today after some sprinkles and cloudiness, a low of 46. Beautiful day on Wednesday with a high of 70, 62 if you're closer to the lake. Back into the 70s Thursday, Friday, and on Saturday. 55 degrees and cloudy in Madison, 57 and sunny in Green Bay, 53 and cloudy in Waukesha, 48 degrees at the Avenue. I'm Greg Matzik. Siding Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:08.
65,498 square miles. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get to it. This is Spanning the State, and here are your hosts, Kristen Bry and Brian Noonan.
Good afternoon. All right, when you think of good government or civic affairs, do you think of optimism?
I'm sorry, did that come out?
That might be what a lot of people's reactions might be. Well, for this Giving Tuesday, we are talking to the leaders of a club that's been around for over 100 years and whose mission is, by providing hope and positive vision, optimists bring out the best in youth, our communities, and ourselves. So we got more of that at the end of this hour. And then in the next hour, there is an event this Thursday. It's called At the Intersection of Firearms and Mental Health, which is bringing attention to the fact that a majority of gun deaths in Wisconsin are actually people taking their own lives. And so it's an event that is bringing together gun owners who are trying to address that fact.
And we will also spin around the state after the 2 o'clock news. We're going to learn a little bit more about children's museums and ask you, what do you think it takes to be middle class in Wisconsin?
I wonder, what do you think it takes?
A lot of money. That's what
you think it takes a lot of money to be middle class?
Well, yeah. It's an unfair question because I read the article. So I have the info. But yes,
right.
Teaser
for that.
Spoiler alert, yes, you need more money.
All right. Well, coming up first. So about a month ago, there was a report that was released that was commissioned by the University of Wisconsin system. They paid Deloitte $2.8 million.
That's good.
To assess the financial health of the individual campuses. And so that report was released, and I think there was a fair amount of people that thought, we spent almost $3 million to tell us what we already know.
Yeah, was that at the top of their report? Don't spend money on dumb reports.
Yeah, so it was $3 million basically to be told what a lot of people already know, that most UW campuses have an unsustainable reliance on their reserves and in order to try to cover budget deficits year after year. And so chancellors are finding a path it to be difficult to remain financially sustainable while a lot of things we've talked on this show continue to happen. Enrollment declines. There's concerns about college affordability and the ROI of that. And state funding has remained flat for a while now. And so we're about 14 years into austerity programs that started under Scott Walker. And I think a lot of the conversation around the UW system and funding gets laid at the feet of Republicans and Scott Walker and what started then. But there is a little bit more inside knowledge of other reasons why we could be in the situation that we're in. And so when we come back, we're going to talk to a UW Oshkosh professor who argues that laying this problem, the budget deficits, just at the feet of Republicans in Madison doesn't tell the whole story as to why UW campuses are in the situation that they're in. It also has to do with the fact that campuses should not be run like corporations.
Interesting.
So we will hear from him on the other side of this. This is Spanning the State.
Tony Drake here from Drake & Associates. Big news. Our Retirement Ready radio show is moving to a new time slot. Catch us at noon every Saturday. At Drake & Associates, we craft tailor-made plans that not only meet your financial needs, but align seamlessly with your unique lifestyle. Tune in at noon on Saturdays and get retirement ready.
Drake & Associates, LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates, LLC does not provide legal or tax advice.
Live life to the fullest at the Enjoy Life Active Aging Symposium. This free, fun, and uplifting day for older adults 55 plus includes speakers, exhibitors, and much more. John McGivern is the keynote speaker, and there will be pickleball, a self-defense class, breakfast, and raffles. The Enjoy Life Active Aging Symposium, June 11th from 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. at the Brookfield Conference Center. Presented by Capri Communities, Southeast Wisconsin's top choice for senior living. Register early at enjoylifesymposium.com.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend. Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production. Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week, Marcus and his son Chris react to NBA headlines and start to look ahead to the Bucks offseason. Find Here District now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here. We agree, right? Potholes stink. And our recent weather means this could be one of the worst years yet. Johnson & Sons Paving is up to the challenge. This team has over 2 decades experience. When potholes pop up in your asphalt, Johnson & Sons Paving will patch them up or replace the whole parking lot. Take a look at johnsonsonspaving.com. Sign a parking lot paving contract before May 31st, and you might just get me out on the job site working with the crew. Find full contest details at WTMJ.com/contests.
Spanning the States, I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristen Bry. And Brian, do you feel like there are some people who think that running a successful business qualifies you to run other organizations well?
I think there's a lot of people. We could start at the very top in a White House and move down. But I don't. There's no. I think yes, there are people who believe that. I don't believe that is the case. I think business and other fields have different skills that need to be brought in. I think a lot of really successful business people are single-minded and want to work and make all the decisions on their own. And in other fields, you need a lot more input, a lot more cooperation. And so it's a difficult question.
It is a difficult question. So our next guest argues that it doesn't necessarily make you, just because you can run a business doesn't mean that's how organizations, campuses, government should be run, and including the University of Wisconsin, and argues that they've been running campuses like corporations and that is part of the reason those campuses are suffering. David Seamers is a professor of political science at UW-Oshkosh and president of United Faculty and Staff of Oshkosh. Welcome to the show, David.
It's good to be with you.
So, give us a little bit of a history lesson in how the UW system practiced shared governance in previous years. Like, what did it look like and how did it work?
Yeah, well, the University of Wisconsin is a public good. And like any government or government entity, it's designed to have checks and balances, or it was originally designed to have them. And those checks and balances would be representative of the various stakeholders that this government entity would serve or represent. First of all, the citizens of the state, then the students, of course. They have an interest in how the place is run. Faculty and staff who often have long careers at the University of Wisconsin are stakeholders as well. The community, business community, state government itself is a stakeholder. So shared governance was a way in which all those stakeholders could be involved in decision making, and we generally made policies together.
When did that change? And because it's not like that now, the chancellors are pretty much empowered to do whatever they want.
Yeah, the chancellors are kind of like CEOs of the universities, and that happened around 2015. There was a change in the statutes. Governor Walker and his allies in the state government changed state statute to make shared governance something that was merely consultative. So when our chancellor kind of whispers in the ear of the faculty senate president, he can call that shared governance. And by the definition that we have now, it is. That doesn't really fit with the traditional model of what shared governance was.
What was the argument as to why that would be a good thing back in 2015?
You know, that's almost 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
But it's like they wanted a more efficient way of running universities, one that would turn universities quickly to something that they would rather see, which is kind of a vocational educational institution rather than a traditional liberal arts model of education.
Well, this sounds like it's rife for problems. What kind of problems have we seen in the last 10 years?
Yeah, I wrote an editorial about this in the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, and I outlined 4 things there that are probably not running optimally because of this. One, I don't think we make the best decisions because of this. No one has all the answers, and we need to listen and consult with each other to make the best decisions. Secondly, I think we have a problem attracting administrative talent in this state. We've got a national and even international pool for talent when it comes to universities. We want to attract the best people here. If year after year we're defunding the university and empowering chancellors, what are we empowering them to do? We're basically empowering them to make cuts, eliminating programs, saying no to people, furloughing people. I'm on furlough. You know, who wants to cut all the time? What kind of administrator is attracted to that? We can still get some terrific people, don't get me wrong. And every administrator is different, right? But we're not doing ourselves any favors by the way that we run our state institution this way. We have frayed morale. Those of us who have been here a while know how the place works, and we kind of expect to be listened to. That doesn't mean we have all the answers either. But when we're not consulted, it leads to poor morale. And when you have poor morale and are not listened to with this highly skilled and dedicated workforce, it's likely that people like me will go public saying that there are problems at the university. Look, all is not well at the UW system, and someone has to sound the alarm. Our chancellor once told me that he's a company man, and I think that the people who run the universities are under a kind of gag rule. And the gag rule is this: only talk positively about what's going on. And they can't say, like, we've got a $4 billion surplus, we should have more revenue to rehabilitate our institution to meet the 21st century most effectively. They can't say that. And someone has to sound the alarm, so we're doing that publicly.
And we're talking to David Seamers, who's a professor of political science at UW-Oshkosh. I'm actually going to hold this question and ask it after we come after the break, but talking about airing dirty laundry, UW-Oshkosh faculty did do that in the beginning of April. So we'll come back and hear what's happened since on Spanning the State.
Throughout history, some people have been born into greatness because of their name or family. Others gained greatness because of their actions. On Wisconsin's Morning News, we celebrate everyday heroes, the John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they woke up one morning they'd be saving a life. Everyday Heroes, Thursday at 6:40 on Wisconsin's Morning News. Presented by Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, transforming the culture of care.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
One of the best things about being in business for 25 years is having clients recommend AccuNet to their now adult children for help buying their first homes. That's how I connected with Dan and Allison, and let me tell you, they were fast learners. They quickly embraced our most powerful tool for winning offers, Appraisal Wiggle Room. Their first offer was $15,000 over asking and included a provision which AccuNet guaranteed they could afford to make, that they would still pay the higher offer price even if the appraised value came in up to $15,000 short. The result? Accepted offer versus several others on the very first try. And by the way, if the appraisal had come in $15,000 short, which it did not, Dan and Allison would have needed exactly $0 extra at the closing table. If you think all mortgage lenders are the same, think again. Go with a multi-generation mortgage lender that has the tools and know-how to help you win. Click on the blue button today at accunet.com.
You can search for the biggest bat selection, but I'm here to save you time because the best baseball and softball bat selection in the Midwest is right here at Burkhardt Sporting Goods. We stock just about every bat on the market from all the top manufacturers like Easton, DeMarini, Louisville Slugger, Marucci, and more, and sell them all at the guaranteed lowest prices. So get in here and try a few out in our indoor batting cages. There's no need to look any further because when it comes to bats, if you want it, we got it at Burkhardt Sporting Goods.
You can't beat Burkhardt.
When you run a team, you want great uniforms, and you know selling spiritwear is vital. That's why Burkhardt Sporting Goods will create a free custom website for you to sell your families and players the coolest spiritwear from Nike and Under Armour, as well as the basics, while helping you fundraise at the same time. We take the hassle out of coordinating your team's apparel and make shopping and buying easy. So when you need awesome spiritwear and uniforms for your organization, you can't beat Burkhardt.
You can't beat Burkhardt.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. My home is my happy place. It's happier thanks to CertaPro Painters. They painted the exterior of our house. It was quick. It was easy. You can schedule your free estimate today at CertaPro.com. Each CertaPro Painter's business is independently owned and operated right here. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's CertaPro with a C. Estimates are easy. Estimates are accurate. They clean up. CertaPro Painters are the real deal. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
It's Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristen Bry, and we are talking to David Seamers, who is a professor of political science at UW-Oshkosh, about his argument that the University of Wisconsin is running campuses like corporations, and that is part of the reason why those campuses are suffering. So right before we went to break, David, we teased the fact that, if people remember, back in April, early April, the UW-Oshkosh faculty voted no confidence in your chancellor. And so what has happened since then?
Well, we felt we needed to do that because this is such an important matter of public concern, and 72% of our faculty voted that they had no confidence in our chancellor. 2 hours later, the Board of Regents came out with a statement saying that they had full confidence in our chancellor. And all we did that same day, 2 hours earlier, was ask them to do their due diligence, consulting people in the community, alumni, donors, business leaders, people in the Fox Valley, about whether our chancellor has the right stuff for the job. So I don't think the Board of Regents was up for that.
Now, how do the unions, how does the faculty groups work then? What are is the chancellor talking to you folks or not?
Well, 6 unions around the state at regional comprehensive universities asked chancellors for a meet and confer relationship. That is, we simply want to meet regularly with the chancellor to discuss working conditions, and this would take some of the pressure off of our faculty senate. They have a lot of stuff to do, and we simply want to have an audience with the chancellor to describe what we think might be in the good of the university. And all 6 universities turned that request down flat with the same kind of boilerplate language. And in fact, our chancellor said that it would be illegal to meet with us. It's not illegal for the chancellor to meet with anyone, right? He has the same First Amendment rights as anyone to associate with the people whom he pleases. So, there's a lot of, I guess, misinformation in the state about what unions can do. We are not able to collectively bargain by law, and we know we can't do that. But we have a First Amendment right to associate and a First Amendment right to speak, and because this is such a big issue of public concern, we are speaking out publicly.
And so what would it take to go back to the way it was? And is there any appetite for the people who would be in charge of reverting back? Is there any appetite to do that?
Yeah, I think chancellors on an individual basis can run their campus like a true shared governance campus. It's just very hard to do that in a time of deep austerity and where we're making cuts all the time, right? So it's much, in one way, it's the path of least resistance to say, I'm going to make these decisions and go my own way and forget about input from other people. But absolutely 100%, there is the wish to go back to a meaningful shared governance model that works for all stakeholders. And it is not natural for teachers to be antagonistic and to fight and to go public. We want to help people, right? And we want to create the best university system that we can have. And we've dedicated our careers to it. And we're absolutely 100% dedicated to the good of the institution, the good of our students, and doing what we can to right the ship.
David, we got about a minute left. Is there anything else we should know?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've said some things that I don't want to be misconstrued. Going to a UW school to get a college education is a great value. And there are thousands of dedicated professionals to help make that happen. And most of our students have a terrific experience here. We're the engine of progress in the state. We just need to rehabilitate the institutions and cooperate more and look forward to the 21st century at the University of Wisconsin.
Well, with that, David Siemers is a professor of political science at UW Oshkosh. I think this is a very compelling argument, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, David.
Thanks. My pleasure.
Well, like I said, I always think it's interesting when we talk about the value that we put on running a successful business. And we've, because I think the thing with the CEO, and it's similar to what we were just saying with the chancellor versus shared governance, but when you're president, when you're governor, ultimately, even if it's an executive position, for things to work, you have to reach compromise. You have to negotiate. It has to be a collaborative effort. And with the CEO, the buck stops with you,
right?
And it all rolls downhill.
And it's all about saving that money.
So it's two different skill sets. Very interesting. Again, that was Professor David Siemers. ABC News and local headlines are next.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Cross-examination of Donald Trump's former fixer, Michael Cohen, set to begin after the lunch recess. Cohen testified earlier that Trump reimbursed him for payments to Stormy Daniels ahead of the 2016 election to hide an alleged affair. Trump denies that. Trump getting support from Republicans, including House Speaker Michael Johnson today, who was at the courthouse. Here's ABC's Jay O'Brien.
I talked to a source close to the Speaker about how all this came together. I'm told the Speaker was already in New York for an unrelated event, and he volunteered to go with the former president to court today, and they rode together to the courthouse.
Airlines have joined in a lawsuit against the Transportation Department's new rules requiring airlines to disclose baggage and other hidden fees when customers buy tickets. Thousands of civilians have fled Rafah as Israel steps up its military operations, and battles also breaking out again in northern Gaza. This is ABC News.
Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:31. From the WTMJ Breaking News Room, I'm Greg Matzik. Governor Tony Evers ordering a special election to fill the seat of outgoing State Senator Lena Taylor. Back in January, Evers appointed Taylor to become a Milwaukee County judge. The special election for Taylor's Senate seat will be July 30th. If a primary is necessary, that would be July 2nd. Governor Evers also ordering flags to fly at half-staff today in honor of Hmong Lao Veterans Day. May 14th commemorates the last airlift evacuations of remaining Hmong Lao soldiers and their families from refugee camps in Thailand in 1975. Wisconsin law requires K-12 schools to teach Black American, Hispanic American, and Native American history. In 2023, Hmong and Asian American histories were added. Wisconsin is home to the third largest Hmong population in the United States. iPass users, beware of a scam. Via text message, the Illinois Tollway is advising iPass customers to disregard texts sent to their phone from Illinois Tollway. The messages say there's an unpaid toll amount owed and includes a link to a scam account. The Tollway says if you're unsure if you owe any money through vacant tolls, then log directly back into your account and check. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. All the indices in the green this afternoon. The Dow currently up about 75 points at 39,506. S&P 500 up about 13 points at 5235. And the NASDAQ up 100 points today at 16,488. It's a great time for your retirement and investment strategy review from a fee-only fiduciary. Check out annexwealth.com and click on the Get Started button today. Time for a look at your roads at WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic Update. 43 southbound, Brown Deer to downtown. Continues to be about a 4-minute delay through the construction zone. 894 westbound also slow with traffic from the Mitchell to the Hale. That's about a 9-minute ride, usually about 6, but the construction slowing things down. Otherwise, standard travel times across the system this afternoon. Clearing skies tonight, a low of 46. All-day sun on a Wednesday and a high of 70. We'll stay in the 70s inland Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Might hit 80 degrees under partly cloudy skies on Saturday. Right now in Madison, it's 56. Green Bay, 58 and sunny. 53 in Waukesha and 49 at the Avenue. I'm Greg Matzik. Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:34.
Start summer with the fastest weekend of the year at America's National Park of Speed, Road America. The XPEL Grand Prix presented by AMR June 6th through June 9th. America's fastest open-wheel cars return to Road America for one of the IndyCar's premier events, including Indy NXT USF Pro 2000 and Vintage Indy. Make it a full weekend. Great campsites are available. Kids under 16 get in free with paying adults. IndyCar at America's National Park of Speed, Road America. Tickets at roadamerica.com.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Good news, bad news. The good news, inflation today is nothing like it's been in the past few years. The bad news, lower inflation doesn't mean lower prices. In fact, one recent study says investors still consider inflation their single biggest threat. If you're concerned how inflation might affect your legacy, your financial freedom, or your confidence, meet with the team at Annex Wealth Management. We're fee-only fiduciaries. We'll build a plan together and guide you on the steps to take to reach the retirement you desire. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference. AnnexWealth.com.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost, free tire repair, and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements is we put them on for you. Buy one or a whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin, Milwaukee, Waukesha, Fort Atkinson, and Jefferson. Griffin, the buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I am Kristen Bry.
I'm Brian Noonan. I'm very busy.
Very busy.
I don't have time
very
to start
busy
talking.
looking into the new Ivies.
Oh, I hear that and I'm triggered by the Ivy League because the high school I went to was all focused on Ivy League schools. Everybody had to go out east. Oh, you had to go to an Ivy League. You had to go here or there. And I was like, I don't want to go to an Ivy League school.
Yeah. Well, you're not alone anymore.
No, good.
And so there's more and more kids who are less interested in going to those highly regarded
the Elite
Eight Ivy League schools, and then the Ivy Plus schools, which is MIT, University of Chicago, Stanford, and Duke.
Right.
But so Forbes, I don't know if you saw this, but Forbes selected colleges that they're calling the new Ivies.
Yes, I saw there was a list of public and private schools that have made that list,
so
or two lists, the new
two
Ivies.
lists. So there's 20 schools in total, and it was based on exclusivity and a survey of hiring managers it conducted to establish. So it's basically talk to hiring managers on what schools do they look for on resumes, and lo and behold. Despite our previous conversation of some of the woes of the UW system, University of Wisconsin-Madison did make that list for top 10 new Ivies for public schools.
They just got in because the acceptance rate for the public school, part of the criteria was you had to be under 50%.
Yes.
And UW-Madison comes in at 49% acceptance rate. So they squeaked in, which is good. Some of the others on that list, University of Illinois at Champaign, University of Florida, University of Maryland, University of Michigan, North Carolina, Texas, Virginia, all good schools. I remember when we were going through the lists, trying to figure out schools back 8 years ago, it was, a lot of these are perennial favorites.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and the thing is, for a lot of those really good public schools, it's great if you are in state. But if you were trying to apply to them from out of state, they are basically as expensive as any of the private schools you would be going to.
100%. My sister-in-law went to North Carolina, and she lived in North Carolina, so it was a state school. When we looked, it was like, oh, my God, this is as expensive as anywhere else.
Yeah.
But that's good for them. What I found really interesting was not only that the students are going away from those Elite Eight, the old school Ivy Leagues, but hiring managers really have turned on graduates from those Ivy League schools. And they're like, because 33% of hiring managers said they would not hire graduates from Ivy League, or they were less likely to. 20% said the Ivy League colleges are doing worse than 5 years ago to prepare job candidates. And this, they also said that graduates from Ivy League schools feel more entitled. And I'm like, aha, there it is. We've been saying it all along. So they're more likely to hire public university graduates. I don't know, maybe as much as people will shout that Madison is, liberal elite and blah, 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 they must be doing something right because people would rather hire students from University of Wisconsin-Madison than Harvard or Yale.
And that is it. I mean, how do you measure entitlement?
I don't know.
Is it all just anecdotal?
I'll tell you something. I need more money. They're saying that the problem is, the hiring managers are saying that instead of focusing on accepting the most well-rounded students, they're looking at, let's get the most well-rounded class.
Oh.
So the class as a whole, we need people who check this box and this box and this box, instead of looking at student A, student B, and student C and going, yeah, student A's grades might not be as good as student B, but student A also was involved in charity work and was on the basketball team and was in theater and debate. And student B, they had all honors classes, but that's really all they did.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not looking at that. They want to say, oh, we need women and we need some foreign students and we need somebody from this geographic region of the United States. And the hiring manager is saying that's not the way to educate people.
Yeah. I also think it's interesting because who I was at 18 versus who I was at 22 was very different. At 18, I still thought I was going to be an Oscar-nominated actress someday.
All right, fair enough.
And by 22, I was like very into school. And
Hollywood beats that out of you quick.
The measures used, or the criteria used to measure 18-year-olds and what schools they get into, I would hope that they've evolved, and it's not what hiring managers are like basing their hiring decisions on of what you were doing at 18, even though you've now graduated from college. Because hopefully you've grown since then. But
the difference between getting into the college and getting hired are completely different too. So
yeah. Well, either way, congratulations to University of Wisconsin-Madison. When we come back, a club that's been around for 100 years based on optimism. This is Spanning the State.
You're hearing it every day. Another political ad, another agenda. But no matter what happens in this election or the next, you still have the power to control your financial future. Elections can impact a lot of things, including the stock market, inflation, and taxes. And if you're thinking about retirement, I'd love to get you our Retirement Ready Toolkit to prepare you for the retirement you've always envisioned. Our team of advisors at Drake & Associates will show you how your savings might be affected and what you can do now to help prepare. Don't let this election or any election control your retirement future. Call or text PREPARE to 414-441-5451 to get your complimentary Retirement Ready Toolkit. That's PREPARE to 414-441-5451.
Investment advisory services provided by Drake & Associates, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Insurance products are offered through a separate company, Loft Financial Advisory Group, LLC, a Wisconsin insurance agency. Clients are under no obligation to purchase any recommended insurance products.
There's a reason people sold to Grandview Homes instead of using a real estate agent.
Very fair price. No real estate agent fees or closing costs.
Within weeks, we had closed and couldn't be happier.
Visit GrandviewHomes.com to discover the easiest and fastest way to sell a home.
Even when you get a great price, diamonds cost a lot of money.
But we want you to be able to buy the engagement ring you really want.
You won't have to settle for anything less than fantastic when you come to Kessler's.
We do everything in our power to make it possible for you to give her that magical engagement ring you really want her to have.
Friendly financing makes it possible.
We can give you 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit.
And with approved credit, we can give you 36 months to pay with just 9.99%.
And if getting your credit approved is a problem, we've even got second chance financing for people who deserve a second chance.
Don't settle for second best. Come to Kessler's.
Seriously, we do everything in our power to make it possible for you to give her that magical engagement ring you really want her to have.
That's the sort of thing you can expect from us when you hear us say, welcome to Kessler's.
Welcome to Kessler's.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, go to KesslersDiamonds.com. And one more thing. Welcome to Kessler's.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
It's spanning the state. Oh, that music can only mean one thing.
It is Giving Tuesday, our Tuesday segment where we talk about good news, good organizations, and good people doing good across Wisconsin. And there's we'll say clubs, because there's many of them, that some have been around for over 100 years, which is a task. When I was at the Milwaukee County Historical Society Awards dinner last week, they said some stat as far as companies that make it to their 100th anniversary is less than 0.5%. And so I have to imagine that nonprofits, community organizations are similar. But the Optimist International is global, and they have many chapters / clubs in Wisconsin. And their mission, providing hope and positive vision. Optimists bring out the best in youth, our communities, and ourselves. So joining us now are the two people who oversee the two districts of Optimist clubs here in Wisconsin. Chuck Erickson, who oversees clubs in northern Wisconsin, and Diane Matusak, who oversees clubs in southern Wisconsin. Welcome to the show, guys.
Oh, my God. Hello.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Hello.
Yes.
All right. So, Chuck, let's start. How do you describe what the Optimist Club is to someone who's never heard of it? Because until I had read this in the newspaper, had never heard of it, despite how long it's been around.
Yeah, I agree with you. We are one of the best kept secrets in America. Optimist International has been around as an international organization for over 100 years. And what I love about Optimist International are these are people who are in local clubs. Many of our clubs are in small towns and villages scattered throughout Wisconsin and around the country and around the world. And we are here to do good in our communities. We're here to support our youth, to make a difference in the lives of our youth, improve our communities, and in turn, improve ourselves. So we are just here to be optimistic people, to make a difference in our areas.
Well, as I read up on some of the history, I was surprised. The Optimist Club started out, their slogan was to be a friend to delinquent boys. Which I could have used a friend, Chuck, quite frankly, back in the day. Yeah. But when did things evolve into what they've become now?
Really, it was a big change happened just about 35, 40 years ago was the big change where we were originally founded by businessmen who were trying to make a difference in, as you mentioned, delinquent boys. And we switched to supporting youth of all kinds really about 35, 40 years ago. And also we allowed women to join our organization about 40 years ago. So that was also a huge change. So now we really are welcoming and accepting for everyone. Nice. And we work with all types of youth really from birth all the way through 18.
So Diane, there's Optimist International is over 100 years old. There's Wisconsin clubs that have also reached that milestone. Which ones are that old, first of all?
Well, the one in Milwaukee is 100 years old. They are actually one of our first ones over here in the southern Wisconsin, which is I'm governor of. It's called the Swiss District. Southern Wisconsin. It's not cheese. It's southern Wisconsin. That was one of our oldest. A lot of people call it, why you call it Swiss cheese? Yeah, they have been around a long time. In fact, we in the Swiss District here have just celebrated our third conference over here in Milwaukee at the Hilton Garden Inn. We do wonderful things. We do wonderful things like the oratorical contest. We just gave out a first place prize of $2,500 to our first place contestant who won. That person will then go on to the national contest, which I think it's a $5,000 prize. So we do things. It doesn't matter if they're 100 years old. It doesn't matter if it's a 2-year-old club. One of the wonderful things about the Optimist International is that if you've got 10 or 15 people that say, let's do something, you can start an Optimist Club. You've got an idea. you've got a goal, you've got a fundraiser that we haven't heard of yet, kick it out there. That's what's the wonderful thing about the Optimist Clubs. We're really autonomous, and we can all do our own fundraising or our own event.
Chuck, do you think the autonomy of the different chapters, different clubs, is what's led to its longevity, or what other reason do you think might contribute to that?
Absolutely. It's because Optimist International provides us with these wonderful programs like the oratorical contest or the essay contest. So they're really just programs that you can initiate in your area very quickly. But also, we really encourage clubs to listen to their community. What do you need in your area? For example, the Brilliant Optimist Club right now is in their final fundraising to build a brand new accessible playground for the village of Brilliant so that they could have a really up-to-date playground area for their kids. That was something that the community really wanted, and the Optimist Club stepped up and said, we are going to help with the fundraising of this and figuring out what equipment we want and making it happen. So that's really what a club can do. If you've purchased cheese curds from your local fair, whether it's the county fair or your regional carnivals, they're probably served by an Optimist Club. If you've been to the Two Rivers Kite Festival, you've eaten the food created by the Optimist Club there. So really, we're taking on local tasks and projects to make a difference in our specific communities.
We're talking to Chuck Erickson and Diane Matuzak, who are the governors of both each district for the Optimist International clubs around Wisconsin. And I guess this is more of an esoteric, bigger question, but I have been accused of being an optimist in my life. And so I guess as two people who are the governors of all the different chapters that are in your districts, what do you think the connection is between optimism or an optimistic disposition and good government or civic engagement?
Yeah.
Okay, Chuck, you and I discussed this. Chuck.
Yeah.
Chuck,
yeah, so
you and I
Kristen,
discussed this. You were going to take that one. Go ahead.
It's one of the purposes of Optimist International is to promote good governance and civic engagement because, again, that goes back to getting our clubs involved at the local level. We want our clubs to engage with their local leadership, their local, town or village or city mayors, and say, how can we help improve our community and be engaged in our community? So my local chapter in Appleton. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I didn't want to jump in. I just wanted to say, as far as that goes, we also have one of our programs is Respect for Law, talking about government, correct? And May is National Law Enforcement Appreciation Month. And one of our programs in Optimist International is Respect for Law. All over the southern Wisconsin, Swiss District, and I'm sure up there in Wynnum, Chuck, we are all celebrating Respect for Law. It doesn't have to be in May, but May is that month. We just had an event this morning in Janesville where they were respecting the government. All the police officers came in. We're having another one tonight at Winaki Golf Course. We are celebrating the Chief of Butler, the Sussex Chief, and Lannon. It's open to the public, 6 o'clock to 7:30. So that's just another way that we stay involved.
Absolutely. Well, we only have about a minute left, so I just want to make sure how can people find their local chapter?
All right,
you know
really what? There's Optimist.
Diane first,
ahead,
and then Chuck.
Okay, there's optimist.org. You go to optimist.org, and you just have to, like anything else, just navigate until you find the answer. Or you can email me, dmatuzak1 at wi.rr.com. Matuzak, like John Matuzak, the Oakland Raider.
There you go. All right, Chuck Erickson, Diane Matuzak, thank you so much. Optimist International, Wisconsin Optimist Clubs, spread the joy. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for the opportunity. Wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
News Time 154. This is Spanning the State.
Hot dog, get your hot dogs here. Hot and fresh hot dogs.
Hot diggity dog, it's baseball season. Wisconsin's Afternoon News has partnered up with Vienna Beef to bring you Brewers Ticket Tuesday.
Tune in every Tuesday during the 3 o'clock hour for your chance to win a pair of tickets for an upcoming Tuesday home game for the Milwaukee Brewers.
nothing says summer like a hot dog and baseball, and we've got both on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
On the home of the Brewers, WTMJ.
We find the best way to protect and uphold the reputation of our business is to hire good people and then take care of them. We really do love the people that work for us, and we care about what's in their best interest. And what that means to you is this: who do you really want on your job? Someone who's maybe underpaid or doesn't feel appreciated? Might not have paid vacations or great work benefits? Our folks have all of these things and more. Vito and I make sure they feel appreciated, because happy people do happy work. There's a culture we're building here at Semper Fi that brings respect back to a very hard job. And that's why we know that our crews are going to do the kind of work that you expect. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. Family owned, family operated, family values. Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. There's one near you.
Each day there's a sliver of time when you can almost breathe freely. And you feel better when you can. But you know that eventually that sliver of time closes, along with your nose. It puts a damper on your day every day. So you pop a pill or you take a spray to try to get that relief back. But it's always short-lived. And all the while in your efforts to give yourself relief, you may be making your nasal breathing problems worse. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula, and a simple in-office procedure from Advent called balloon sinuplasty could be the fast and convenient answer to your breathing triangle problems. Advent has been a leader in this procedure, which can be hard to find elsewhere. It's simple, there's little to no downtime, and it really can be life-changing.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary.
Outdoor living is great, but it's best when it's at your own home. Well, there's a company called Outdoor Living Unlimited that will build you a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, all manner of things to enhance outdoor living at your place, even an outdoor kitchen. Get started right away. Contact Outdoor Living Unlimited now. Get your yard project onto Outdoor Living Unlimited's calendar while there's still openings. OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Heart disease won't stop us. Diabetes won't slow us down. Allergies, high blood pressure, shoulder pain, cancer. Nothing will keep us from pushing Wisconsin ahead. Because with the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, forward progress is what we stand for. That means always pushing and always innovating. With new technologies and breakthrough treatments that make life better, whether we're sick or well. It means providing more convenience and more ways to receive medical excellence for all your health needs, for big and small. It means being there for you, our family, caring for yours. So let's keep raising the bar. Let's keep testing the limits of what medicine can do. Let's push ahead and make life here as great as it can be. Visit Freighter.com to find out how.
From big tailgate parties to cozy dinners for two, the freshest ideas start with a stop at Century Foods. Now through Wednesday, save on 24-pack Essential Everyday Purified Water, 2 for $7. 8.2 to 20 ounce selected varieties CPAC Seafood, $6.99. 4.5 to 5.3 ounce selected varieties Chobani Flips Yogurts, 2 for $3. Gallon Prairie Farms White Milk, $3.99. Half gallon Prairie Farms Chocolate Milk, $2.49.
Hey, why'd you throw my glass across the room?
I have to keep practicing.
The vase from Aunt Sophie?
I'm warming up in case I get to take them out at American Family Field. Read this.
Win the ultimate baseball fan experience at Century Foods.
You either get to throw out the first pitch, hold the finish line for the famous racing sausages, or be on the field during batting practice. My new TV!
Just doing a little batting practice of my own.
The ultimate baseball fan experience. Return the entry form found in the weekly ad to any Century by July 24th.
Here's to sweet summer days together with friends and family in Wisconsin. To discovering magic in every moment.
Hey, Mom, over here.
And to reconnecting through a world filled with wonder.
Wow.
Here's to supper club celebrations and dancing until the sun goes down. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Plan your summer getaway at travelwisconsin.com.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
I'm Brett Matchke, and you're due for service.
Richlands. The place you want to go. Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
It's time for another NL Central throwdown at American Family Field.
Fly ball hit to center. Backing up is Ciani. Still back. Ciani onto the track. Leaps up. It is gone!
The Brewers and Pirates face off with coverage starting tonight at 6:05 on your home of the Milwaukee Brewers. News Radio 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 2:01. I'm John Mercure. Tonight, clearing skies, low 46 degrees. Tomorrow, all day sunshine, a high of 62. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, another day of testimony today from former President Trump's former attorney and fixer, Michael Cohen. Cohen, one of the key witnesses for the prosecution in the criminal hush money trial against Trump, who's accused of falsifying business records. Cohen will face a cross-examination by Trump's legal team. He already told the jury that he arranged to pay Stormy Daniels $130,000 to keep quiet about an alleged affair with Trump. Trump allies accompanied him to court today, including House Speaker Mike Johnson. More from ABC's Jay O'Brien.
I talked to a source close to the speaker about how all this came together. I'm told the speaker was already in New York for an unrelated event, and he volunteered to go with the former president to court today, and they rode together to the courthouse.
CBS's Major Garrett joins us with the latest on the Trump trial coming up at 3:45 on Wisconsin's Afternoon News. Ascension Hospital continues navigating the fallout from a ransomware attack last week. Patient Annette Strini tells TMJ4 News she's been directed by Ascension to utilize other healthcare systems in the region.
I was told we'll go to Aurora or Freighter, but my insurance doesn't cover that. How would I pay the bills? I'm tired. I'm not getting the right answers because nobody really knows.
All Ascension facilities do remain open, but pharmacies in the Ascension network are not able to fill prescriptions. Governor Tony Evers is ordering a special election to fill the seat of outgoing State Senator Lena Taylor.
In January, Evers appointed Taylor to become a Milwaukee County Circuit Court judge. The special election for Taylor's Senate seat will be held July 30th, and if a primary is necessary, that would be held July 2nd. Meanwhile, former U.S. Congressman Mike Gallagher's 8th District seat is also vacant. Evers says that will be filled with a special election coinciding with the general election in November. Gallagher announced Monday his new leadership position within Green Bay venture capital firm Titletown Tech. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
The tents are gone, but frustration remains over how UW-Milwaukee handled the removal of a pro-Palestinian protest encampment.
The Milwaukee Jewish Federation is ripping UWM's response to the demonstrators who spent 2 weeks living in tents on campus. The Federation accuses Chancellor Mark Money of capitulating to protesters who it says broke the law, vandalized property, and fueled anti-Semitism on campus. Money announced an agreement to remove the tents over the weekend. In a statement, the Federation questioned why he would agree to give protesters who fueled hate a seat at the table. It's now calling on the UW system to negate the deal and ensure that all students can feel safe on campus. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money. Here's the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything in the green. The Dow up 134, the NASDAQ up 118. Right now, the S&P is up 24 points on the day. It's a great time for your retirement and investment strategy review from a fee-only fiduciary. Go to annexwealth.com, click the Get Started button today. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Siding Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 2:04.
This report's sponsored by Mr. Holland's Heating and Air Conditioning. Visit MrHollandsHeatingandAir.com.
Are you backed up? Hey, it's okay. We all get a little backed up every now and then. And when that happens, you need a professional to get in there and blast out that blockage. Wait, you do know I'm talking about your pipes, right? At Mr. Holland's Home Services, we know from experience that a clogged drain is a big old pain. Left untreated, dirt, debris, and other sloppy sludge piles up in your pipes to form an annoying obstacle that prevents a steady flow of flushables. So if you're a little backed up, your drain that is, call Mr. Holland's Home Services. As long as we have an easy entry point, we can send a camera down your pipe to find the objectionable obstruction, and then we flush it out. Mr. Holland's Plumbing Prodigies have the training to get you draining. So don't get backed up. Take the strain off your drain and call 866-992-1717 or visit MrHollandsHomeservices.com. If you're feeling drained, we can help.
It pretty much hurt doing anything. I couldn't ride a bicycle. You don't have your life because you don't have your mobility.
So when Patrick heard about QC Kinetics here in Milwaukee and their non-invasive regenerative treatments for pain, no waiting, he called them immediately.
There's no downtime. There's no rehab. That was the tipping point for me. I didn't have to take any drugs. I didn't have to rehab.
Before considering surgery, check out QC Kinetics all-natural treatment options that restore and repair damaged joint tissue in your knees, hips, shoulders, and back.
If you have knee replacement surgery, and then the knee is not yours, and there's no guarantee that that's going to be successful.
QC Kinetics. Patients around the country are raving about the results. They're getting back their mobility, taking back their lives with no downtime, no drugs, and no surgery. Don't wait. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Time for the WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. After dropping the opening game of a 3-game set against the Pirates, the Brewers go at it again in Game 2 tonight. Coverage begins at 6:05 on WTMJ. And the WNBA season begins tonight with 4 games on the schedule. The NFL will reveal its complete regular season schedule on Wednesday. Let's check out those roads with the WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time-saver traffic. Only one little delay. I-43 southbound Brown Deer into downtown. Going to take you about an extra 2 minutes.
Traffic is sponsored by Kowal Investment Group, the retirement specialists. Retire well with Kowal.
At Kowal Investment Group, we've been helping our clients plan for retirement for over 36 years. We'd like to help you too. Visit thekowalway.com or call 262-522-4040.
And your Storm Team 4 5-day forecast. Tonight, clearing skies, a low of 46 degrees. Tomorrow, all-day sunshine. What a good one. A high of 70 degrees. Thursday, partly cloudy, maybe rain late, a high of 71. On Friday, chance for showers, high of 74. And on Saturday, partly cloudy, a high of 78 degrees. Right now in Madison, it is cloudy and 57 degrees. In Milwaukee, it is cloudy and 48 degrees. Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 2:08.
It's time to take a spin around Wisconsin and find stories you might have missed. Here's Spinning the State on Spanning the State with Kristen Bry and Brian Noonan.
Yes, every day after the 2 o'clock news, we take a spin around Wisconsin and see if we can find some stories you may not have heard of. Now, sometimes like this first story, I think somebody else may have touched on it, but it's always good to repeat. So let's spin the wheel, Kristen, and see where we're going.
Ogdensburg.
We have not been to Ogdensburg. I have not been there in person, and we have not been there on Spinning the State. But the reason we go there today, Buffalo. Not the Buffalo Lodge that Fred Flintstone was part of.
Not the game where you have to drink with your opposite hand.
I don't know that game.
Oh, that off air. We'll bring it back.
All right. Well, Rhea, mark that down. We've got to play Buffalo. About 6 o'clock yesterday morning, a good citizen called the Wapaka County Sheriff's Office to report that a buffalo was on the roadway. north of the village of Ogdensburg, about 40 miles northwest of Appleton, for those of you who were plotting this story out on a map. As of 8:30 today, the sheriff's office said it had not received any additional calls about the buffalo, which maybe means somebody was drinking and thought they saw a buffalo on the loose. Sheriff's office has no additional descriptive information about the animal, nor any photos or videos. Is that really necessary? How many buffalo? They've already said they haven't seen one, so it's not like they have to round up a gaggle of buffalo. And
what is the plural of buffalo?
Buffaloes?
Probably.
No, give me
It's a murder of crows,
roam.
a gaggle of geese.
A bunch of buffalo?
Text line, 855-616-1620. What is a bunch of buffaloes called?
Buffaloes.
Officially.
And if you're a police officer and you really need a description of a buffalo, it might be time to look up another job. But officials do believe that it escaped from a nearby farm. This is always good news, too, and I love that we have to tell people this because they're so bright. People are requested to use caution when driving in the area where the buffalo was spotted. And if you see the animal, the sheriff's department says not to approach it, as the species is, quote unquote, unpredictable. Yes. So if you want a selfie with the buffalo, you need to sign a waiver with all of us to say that we're not coming to help you. If you wander up to a buffalo and go, say cheese, and it gores you, I'm sorry, but that's just nature weeding out the stupid.
That is Darwinism,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen. All right.
All right, where are we going next?
Let's find out.
Lacrosse.
Both in lacrosse and in a Quick Trip near you.
Maybe.
Quick Trip will be selling Blueberry Dunker potato chips, at least for a limited time. Yes, if you are a fan of Blueberry Donut.
They're dunkers, I gotta say.
If you're a fan of the Blueberry Donut Dunkers,
yes,
you may be a fan of these potato chips. To me, sounds a little weird. I will gladly try them, which Brian tried valiantly to try to make happen today, but indeed failed.
Yesterday after the show, I stopped at the Quick Trip in Kenosha, and I looked all over, and they have like 3 different areas of chips, and I'm looking, and finally I went up to the guy behind the register and said, hey, this is kind of stupid, but do you have these blueberry chips? And he goes, oh, this guy over here was just telling me about it, another employee. And the guy came scurrying over, and he was like, oh, yeah, man, we were supposed to get them last weekend, but they didn't come in, so maybe next weekend or later in the week. He goes, but I got to try them. And then the original guy I talked to went, yeah, I kind of want to try them too, but they sound kind of gross.
Sound kind of weird.
Yeah, so there, and I stopped at the Quick Trip on Ryan Road this morning, thinking maybe the Kenosha store got short shrift of the Blueberry Dunker potato chips, but no, nobody's got them yet.
All right, well, eventually, maybe this week, maybe next week, but there's going to be a debut of Blueberry Dunker flavored Urge potato chips in Quick Trip. Eventually, we will buy them, we will try them, but for now, we have to be patient.
Now we dream.
One more.
Right, spin it.
Madison.
All right, this story is not funny at all, and being from Madison, I wonder if you knew about it. I had never heard of this story. Have you heard of Chimney Doe?
No.
All right. So after more than 30 years, investigators have finally figured out a name to tie to this crime. Skeletal remains were found in a chimney on September 3rd, 1989, and that was in a Madison business. Due to technological advances of DNA, they have finally identified the skeleton as Ronnie Joe Kirk. Police unearthed the skeleton after the owner of the now shuttered Good and Loud music store on University Avenue. Did you ever go there?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, guess what? When you were in there was a skeleton in the chimney. Enjoy your ABBA album. So they spotted this skull visible through a pipe connecting the boiler to the building's chimney. Investigators now know, after going through different websites and different databases, that Kirk was born in 1942 in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He was raised by genetic relatives who adopted him. They still don't know exactly how or when Kirk died. According to Madison police, a forensic autopsy previously concluded the remains belonged to a genetic male who was between 18 and 35 years old, about 5'7". Police shared Monday that Kirk was raised in Tulsa and had ties to Texas and Alabama. But finally, after 30-some years, they figured it out.
I guess that's good.
Yeah,
to give some closure.
Well, this would be like a great true crime because there's a ton of other details.
Yeah,
like he was found. There was a address in there and a cross and some other stuff. So they don't know what's going on. They have no idea. But it's a fascinating case.
Cold case.
Yeah, very cold.
Get to the bottom of it.
Well, it's right by the boiler, which would make it seem not such a cold case, and yet, still. We're all done. And just circling back, it's a herd of buffalo.
All right.
A herd of buffalo.
That's a little more obvious than I was hoping.
Yes. So
I was hoping it was going to be alliteration.
No, unfortunately.
It is not.
A bag of buffalo. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, we are going to learn about children's museums because a huge event is happening this week at the Madison's Children's Museum. But Wisconsin is chock full of children's museums. So we will talk about that after this on Spanning the State.
Be our eyes on the road. See something out there that I should know about?
I-94, eastbound. A semi just came to a screeching stop in the center lane. I think he's broken down right there.
Call me, Debbie Loziga, at the Hall Volkswagen Traffic Tip Line at 414-238-9329.
On southbound I-94, right around Drexel Avenue, there's a wreck in the left lane, and the left lane is blocked.
The drive affects you. Why not be part of it? Give me a call, 414-238-9329.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
One of the best things about being in business for 25 years is having clients recommend Accunet to their now adult children for help buying their first homes. That's how I connected with Dan and Allison, and let me tell you, they were fast learners. They quickly embraced our most powerful tool for winning offers, Appraisal Wiggle Room. Their first offer was $15,000 over asking and included a provision which Accunet guaranteed they could afford to make that they would still pay the higher offer price even if the appraised value came in up to $15,000 short. The result? Accepted offer versus several others on the very first try. And by the way, if the appraisal had come in $15,000 short, which it did not, Dan and Allison would have needed exactly $0 extra at the closing table. If you think all mortgage lenders are the same, think again. Go with a multi-generation mortgage lender that has the tools and know-how to help you win. Click on the blue button today at accunet.com.
Another MVP has joined the roster at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, Dr. Michael Nolte. Expertscape recently named him part of the top 1% of spine expertise in the world. Dr. Nolte has published over 50 peer-reviewed articles in leading scientific journals and authored more than 100 national presentations. They added this MVP specialist for orthopedic, neurosurgical, and spine care because at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. I am Kristen Bry.
I'm Brian Noonan. I don't know if you know this, but Wisconsin is home to 25 children's museums.
Did I know that? I knew that we had a lot.
Well, now you do. 25. This week, the Madison Children's Museum is hosting Interactivity 2024 Flourish. It's the largest international conference of children's museums. This year, 14 countries are going to be represented at the conference. And to tell us more about children's museums and their importance to children's education is the executive director of the Association of Children's Museums, Arthur Affleck. Arthur, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Happy to be here.
Well, good. All right, let's start with the very basics. Can you define what a children's museum is?
Yes. So a children's museum, most of them are nonprofit organizations committed to serving the needs and interests of children by providing exhibits and programs that stimulate curiosity, motivate learning, and support the well-being of children and families. And one other thing I'll say is that most other museums have lots of collections and focus on those collections and artifacts. Children's museums focus on people, children, and families. We have a few artifacts, we have a few collections, but mostly our program is about enhancing the lives of kids and their families.
So what is the role of the Association of Children's Museums?
So ACM is the foremost professional society supporting children's museums. We have 480 members in all 50 states. And as you said, in about 11 or 12 countries. And so we convene the field as we're doing this week. This will be, by the way, the largest convening in our 60-year history. We thought it was New Orleans last year was the largest. This one actually is turning out to be even larger, with over 1,000 people expected to be at the Monona Terrace Community and Convention Center over the next couple of days.
Wow.
That's very exciting. And on that note, Madison is one of the smaller cities that has hosted the event. What goes into choosing not only the host museum, but the host city?
So Madison, you all live here, I've been here several times, is a wonderful, walkable city. We have a great children's museum partner. We pick a city also thinking about the children's museum partner, and the children's museum here in Madison, led by Deb Gilpin, is a great institution, a great museum, great people to work with. And we wanted a place that would, not be too expensive for our guests. And Madison is beautiful. Most people don't know it's on an isthmus and you can see the water. So we're thrilled to be here and looking forward to a great couple of days.
So what is covered during interactivity?
So this is the opportunity for the field to do a couple things. And we survey them and we ask them why they come. Number one, they come for professional development. We have hundreds of sessions and workshops and speakers that will share information and knowledge about the field, whether it's exhibitions or educational programming or a range of issues. So they come for the education. Also the networking. When you get to meet with hundreds of your colleagues from museums, or almost 1,000 from all over the country, that is very important, that networking piece. And then they come here to see a new museum. Many of them have never been to Madison. They get to see not only the Madison Children's Museum, but they'll go visit other children's museums in the region when they come this close. So that's why they come. And as I said, our field has been growing. Children's museums are the fastest growing segment of the museum community, not art museums, not history museums. Children's museums are the fastest growing field because of the needs of children and families today have been greater than ever, I think, in our history.
I was gonna have a joke question about what's the disposition of children's museums professionals and on how good are the parties at this conference. But now I actually want to ask about that fact and the fact that this is that's how fast this is growing. Is that just because there's such a need for places for parents to bring their kids to interact with exhibits like this?
Yes, and I think especially coming out of the pandemic, parents realize that, as much as you love your kids can't stay at home all the time. And kids spend maybe 20% of the time in schools. 80% of the time, young people, children are outside of school somewhere doing something. And we need to have productive spaces that are safe, that are engaging, that are places of learning. We talk about playful learning. You have fun in our museums, but everything is designed to teach. There's a learning objective around everything that we do. So, kids have fun in our museums, but they're learning as well. And then there's something called learning loss, that if you think about the summer or after school, if you're not engaging kids productively, then they lose some of the learning they learned in school. So we are that third space, if you will, where families can come and have a great time. And we're intergenerational. You often see grandparents and parents in our museums, with kids, and we welcome all of that.
So you brought up the term playful learning, and that's something that I know is starting to come into preschools and kindergartens, especially where the curriculums are changing into that learning by play. What are the benefits of that kind of learning as opposed to sit down, learn your arithmetic, learn how to write your letters? What makes this more or as beneficial for a young child?
So there's a lot of research that shows that when children are playing and are more open to what is being shared with them, they retain it. They retain it better. As a matter of fact, the American Academy of Pediatrics once had a play prescription that said children subjected to toxic stress and other kinds of challenges in the community and in homes, that they would give them a play prescription, let them go out and play either outside in parks or in children's museums. So there is also social and emotional development, that children develop more social and emotional development skills by playing. We want them to learn how to play nice in the sandbox, as you say, and those skills will be with them for the rest of their lives. So yeah, play is learning, full stop, but also play is therapeutic.
It seems as I was looking not only at the children's museums I've been to, but the other ones in the state, there are similarities and there's differences. Other than being interactive, what are some of the unique qualities that you've seen as you've gone to not only Madison but some of the other children's museums here in Wisconsin and across the country?
Yeah, so I've been to over 100 children's museums, and people always ask me, so, what's the best? What's the best? And I'm in Madison today. So Madison, Madison.
There you go.
Top of my list. But they're all unique, as you said. And so in size, half of our museums are small. They may have a budget of less than $1 million, and the others are larger. So there are a couple key things. Most of them have something called water play. Most of them have a climber of some sort. Most of them have a maker space or a place where you can do, kind of art. Some of them have STEM exhibits for science, technology, with the arts connected to that. What differs is that many of them also will have some reference to their local community. So if you go to the Madison Children's Museum, you'll see references to local architects. You'll see references to to the topography. So kids will learn more about their communities in each museum. Pittsburgh looking different from Brooklyn, looking different from Miami. Miami has a cruise ship in the middle of the museums. Why? Because that's what they do in Miami, right? So kids. So that's one way that they're different. Although they all try to engage kids, in fun, productive ways. And one of the things I love, I was in the Magic House in St. Louis last year, and kids were leaving the Magic House. They were crying because they didn't want to leave. And I just, I was laughing because it was so joyful that they loved the place so much they didn't want to leave. And that happens in a lot of children's museums, that kids have such a great time, don't really realize all the stuff they're learning, and don't want to leave. And that's what you want when you're a kid. You want kids to just have that kind of joyful experience.
Well, before we let you go, Arthur, we've got a text from the membership and communication manager at the Children's Museum in Fond du Lac, who is coming to Interactivity for the first time this week. And then somebody texted in recommending the Baraboo Children's Museum, too. So 25 great children's museums here in Wisconsin. 14 countries represented this week at Interactivity 2024 Flourish. Arthur, it's been a lot of fun talking to you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me. Take care.
Take care. Arthur Affleck is the Association of Children's Museums Executive Director. We'll be back. Oh, no, we got to take a break, and then it's news time. Stick with us. It's Spanning the State.
May 13th is the start of Law Enforcement Week. Join the truth as we share a special program, Too Black, Too Blue. Voices of black officers living in the double consciousness of two disjointed worlds. Stay tuned for more.
Hey, boaters!
Well, if you have an old boat, new boat, or in between, then Kendor Marine is a great place for you to shop. Because not only do we have all the parts and accessories you need for almost any kind of boat, we also have the expert advice that just about any boater is one day gonna need. I'm Dave Doro, and boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com. At Kendor Marine, we have everything you need but the water. For over 50 years, boaters have found that to be true. Because when they've needed that old part they thought they'd never find, guess what? They found it here, along with everything else you need to keep your boat out there on the water. This is Dave Doro, and boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
Burkhardt Sporting Goods in New Berlin is the baseball lover's destination, with a massive state-of-the-art indoor training facility featuring hit tracks with precision analytics, a huge open turf area, and all the best training equipment you need. So get in here and get ready to get better. And we'll help you with this special offer. Buy 20 batting cage credits for $30. That's 25% off. This is Brian Burkhardt, and if you love baseball and softball like we do,
you can't beat Burkhardt.
153rd and National. If you plan on draining buzzer beaters, the place to start is Burkhardt, where you'll find a great selection of residential basketball hoops from the best brand, Goalrilla. We'll handle the installation and take care of everything to make it easy from start to finish. And right now, when you buy from Burkhardt, standard hoop installation is half price. Only $250 for standard installation. You can't beat that. This is Brian Burkhardt, and when you love basketball like we do,
you can't beat Burkhardt.
New Berlin and Fox Point.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. It was time to paint the outside of our house, and I was overwhelmed. I really wasn't looking forward to it. Thank goodness I got in touch with CertaPro Painters, each business independently owned and operated right here in Wisconsin. They made it easy. They were quick. They were efficient. They were friendly and fun. It's CertaPro Painters. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. My home has never looked better, literally. I couldn't be happier. It's CertaPro Painters. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
All right, we're back just long enough to tell you that news and ABC headlines are next. And then after that, we're going to be talking about an event happening in Wausau on Thursday.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franz, and attorneys for Donald Trump now cross-examining Trump's former fixer, Michael Cohen, in the hush money trial, trying to poke holes in his testimony, claiming that Trump directed him to make payments to Stormy Daniels ahead of the 2016 election and then reimbursed him. Cohen's credibility, the target. ABC News legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer says the defense could bring up Cohen's perjury conviction.
The payments might have been at the behest of Donald Trump, and Donald Trump might have said okay to that, but you lying to the FEC, you lying to Congress, I don't see the connection where Donald Trump told you to make those lies there.
At an arraignment hearing today, Shohei Ohtani's interpreter, Ippei Mutsuhara, pleaded not guilty to federal charges of stealing millions from the baseball star. It was a procedural matter, and Mitsuhara has entered a plea agreement with prosecutors. Today, bells tolling in Buffalo. A memorial marking 2 years ago when a self-professed white supremacist killed 10 black shoppers and workers at the Top supermarket. This is ABC News.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time 2:31. I'm John Mercure. iPass users, beware of scam text messages. The Illinois Tollway is advising iPass customers to disregard texts sent to their phones from Illinois Tollway. The messages say there is an unpaid toll amount owed and includes a link to a scam account. The Tollway says if you're unsure if you owe tolls, then log directly into your account to check. Governor Tony Evers is ordering a special election to fill the seat of outgoing State Senator Lena Taylor. Back in January, Evers appointed Taylor to become a Milwaukee County judge. The special election for Taylor's Senate seat will be July 30th. If a primary is necessary, that would be July 2nd. And the governor is ordering flags to fly at half-staff today in honor of Hmong Lao Veterans Day. May 14th commemorates the last airlift evacuations of remaining Hmong Lao soldiers and their families from refugee camps in Thailand. Wisconsin law requires K-12 schools to teach Black American, Hispanic American, and Native American history. In 2023, Hmong and Asian American histories were added. Time for news about your money. Here's the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Pretty good day so far. Everything in the green. The Dow is up 145 points. The NASDAQ is up 125, and the S&P right now is up 25 points. Let's check those roads. Right now, pretty quiet. One little delay. It's a tiny baby delay. I-43 southbound through all that construction going to take you 2 extra minutes. Here's your Storm Team 4 5-day forecast. Tonight, clearing skies, low of 46. Tomorrow, all day sunshine, a high of 70. Thursday, partly cloudy. Rain maybe late in the day, a high of 71. Friday, partly cloudy, 74. And on Saturday, partly cloudy, a high of 78 degrees. Right now in Madison, it's 57 degrees and cloudy. Sunshine in Green Bay, where it's 58 degrees. Here in Milwaukee, cloudy and 48 degrees. I'm John Mercure, citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 2:33.
Sleep apnea is a serious condition. And the worst part about it is, because it affects you while you're sleeping, you don't know what this condition is doing to you.
And it was scary because I found out that I was waking up 145 times an hour. 145 times. I was scared. I wasn't getting the sleep I needed.
And that's the thing. Someone like John wakes up after thinking he's slept all night, and he's been feeling run down for years, and finally finds out something really is wrong. This is why, for us, solving sleep apnea problems is so gratifying, because we really are changing lives.
I've had more energy. I'm getting better sleep. I've been told from my wife I don't snore. but honestly, it changed my life.
This is Dr. Madan Kandula. Solving your breathing triangle problems means a better quality of life, and you deserve that.
Go to AdventKnows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary.
Whether you're a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. The hotel is ideally located in the heart of the theater district in downtown Milwaukee. With deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site galleries, and nightly live music, you'll enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Book special hotel packages with room rates starting as low as $129 a night. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com.
David Nason, host of the Fix-It Show, here with my friend Chris Mancuso, owner of Accurate Basement Repair. Chris, what are some signs of basement problems that need to be addressed?
Hey, David, that's a great question. I would say wall cracks, leaning walls, dark or maybe some discolored stains across the walls. Those are really important things to look at.
As a home inspector, I see this often. Don't wait to call the experts I recommend at Accurate Basement Repair today for your free assessment. They're not just good, they're accurate.
Well, welcome back to Spanning the State. I am Kristen Bry.
And I am Brian Noonan. And Thursday, you are not going to be here.
But I will.
But you will be on the show.
Yes.
You will
Technology.
Technology is our friend because you are part of a very interesting, important, and it sounds cool. I'll throw cool in there too because I think when people hear what this is about, and who is involved and how it's framed, it is a different take on a couple of topics that we hear about all the time.
So if people remember, if people who read the Journal Sentinel probably remember, but I can't remember if John maybe came on to any of the news shows to talk about this pretty massive project called Behind the Gun, which was a series that he did he was the lead of the reporters from Journal Sentinel that was over a year. Wow. Basically, the Journal Sentinel examined the full extent of gun deaths in Wisconsin.
Okay.
And so it was like first of its kind to obtain gun death data from every single county in Wisconsin. He talked to dozens of gun owners about their experiences with firearms and also conducted like an in-depth survey of gun owners in Wisconsin to date. And the reason behind this is because gun deaths in Wisconsin have doubled since 2004. And the trend is really driven by suicides.
Okay.
And this is especially in the more rural northern parts of the state. And so John Dietrich, who we've interviewed before on his Delta 8 story more recently, he, after doing this series, after taking all of this on, after making all of these new relationships with people who are gun shop owners and veterans and military and therapists who are specifically trained to talk to other gun owners and all this stuff, he's like, I feel like we need to do an event. Like we need to do something with all of the information that we've gathered and what we've written on. And so that's exactly what we're doing. So we're having a free event. It's in Wausau, which is a little outside of our listening area at this point. But I would say if you're listening to us and you're in Green Bay or the Fox Valley, it's a little bit closer to you. But you can also watch it live because we're live streaming it. Because we thought it was important to live stream and capture everything that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So people can watch it later. People can watch it live. Obviously, Wausau's not everyone lives within driving distance to Wausau. And so it's called the Intersection of Firearms and Mental Health, and it's going to be held at the UW Center for Civic Engagement in Wausau. I'm the MC. I'm not giving any of the information because this is outside of my scope, but everyone who's actually talking works there. It's ex-military, veterans, people who are law enforcement, people who own gun shops, and their attempts at this really weird middle ground that I think even in us trying to drive attendance for this event have found there is such the narrative around gun ownership is so black and white, I think. And I think a lot of gun owners feel very hackles go up at
Yes.
any given point of like, this event is going to be talking about taking our guns away, and it's not.
That's what
but
I
it's like,
wanted
how
to
do you,
clarify.
from like a marketing standpoint, and how do you talk about this intersection without it and reaching the people that it's supposed to reach without it sounding like we're trying to take your guns away, which is not what this event is about.
It's a whole different thing, and I think responsible gun owners and knowledgeable gun owners are probably not the ones who are going to freak out. They're going to say, "Oh, well, okay, this is a startling statistic. The fact that what can we do about it? This is not. You know what? A lot of people are dying because of gun deaths. There's a lot of suicides. We want to take your guns. That's not what's happening.
No,
but it's a conversation that needs to be had because people do have guns in their homes, and if they're having mental problems, if they're having a breakdown, if there's all of that plays in. That doesn't necessarily mean 2 weeks ago you were an irresponsible gun owner.
Mm-hmm.
It's all of a sudden now something terrible has happened to you, and it's there. So
yeah,
let's figure it out.
So the goal of the night is basically just to start conversations and make space for people who are concerned about this issue and provide the chance for some people to connect. There's going to be a lot of Q&A, a lot of tabling and stuff like that for able to get more information. So if you would like to get more information about the event, you can text BEHIND to 855-616-1620, and we will text you the link that has more information about everyone who's going to be there, why the series itself. So again, that's BEHIND, BEHIND, 855-616-1620. If you text BEHIND to the WTMJ talk and text line, we will send you the link for more information on the intersection of firearms and mental health happening on Thursday.
Very nice. And you mentioned there's gun owners, there's educators, there's all kinds of people who will be speaking.
Yeah, absolutely.
And John will be
there conducting the entire event.
Well, it's amazing to me the dedication of journalists who will put in that much time on a story.
And we're gonna get to talk to him today, and we're gonna air that interview on Thursday because I have such admiration for how he has tried to. When something's this big and you've talked to this many people, and trying to summarize it in any kind of coherent way is a task. And so, how hard he has worked on bringing all these people together, and I think everyone who's involved feels like if this event can reach one person, it will have been worth it.
And just since we're teasing Thursday, pardon me, that we're going to be talking to John too. We're also going to be talking to one of the speakers at the town hall, and his story is not one that you would expect maybe to be at an event like this. So you'll want to be here Thursday to listen to that interview as well.
Yep. So text BEHIND to 855-616-1620 if you want more information about the Behind the Gun series and also the event that is happening on Thursday. News time 2:42. This is Spanning the State.
Hi, folks. This is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. With the weather getting warmer, our prices get even hotter. When you visit our showroom, you'll see all the finest brands of lights and ceiling fans. BBC is Wisconsin's largest supplier to new home builders, contractors, and designers. And we display all the famous brands, such as Visual Comfort, Tech, Hubbard & Forge, and hundreds more. Our prices are the lowest. I guarantee it. There's something for everyone at BBC, including fun for the kids and our famous free popcorn. BBC is open Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 and on Saturday from 10 to 4. We are located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue, across from Sobelman's and Bachman Furniture, all near the Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
After a serious accident, you'll need a winning team to protect your rights. Trust Wisconsin's own Ruger offices. Proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
And that's the best thing about Capital's AC Beyondification.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Hey, Merle, what you got? What's this? A screenplay?
Let me see this. Captain Capital, Heat and Air Hero.
That's so awesome, Merle.
Hang on. I've been writing a screenplay like this.
For years.
It's an epic, and it's Capital Man, not Captain Capital. Yes, of course he restores your air conditioner to like new condition.
Says here, Captain Capital has a deep clean device.
Aha! Capital Man deep cleans your system with his laser beam hands.
What?
I'm developing a sidekick. He always does the comprehensive safety checks. You wrote yourself in as the sidekick?
As long as it gets across how Capital's AC Beyondification saves the day.
And how you want to do it before summer hits.
Well, that's the whole point.
That's what I'm saying.
Then it's great.
Laura, Seth, I need a moment with Merle, please.
Schedule your AC Beyondification today online at callcapitalcares.com.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for one of my favorite places. The Fox and Hound Supper Club is the most unique, beautiful, and affordable dining destination in the area. Winners of the Top Choice Award for Fine Dining, Most Romantic Restaurant, and Best Sunday Brunch. When you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free, always, 7 nights a week. Steak, seafood, ribs, pasta, big fresh salad, even the steak and lobster, any dinner on the menu, your second dinner is free. That includes prime rib on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Desserts are also always buy one, get one free, and they're delicious. Relax with a hand-muddled old-fashioned, 20 bourbons, 100 wines in one of their 8 elegant dining rooms. The Fox and Hound sits in the Kettle Moraine Forest, a spectacular setting. Celebrate a birthday, anniversary, or a quiet dinner with your love, and your second dinner is free. Just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of Holy Hill, the drive is beautiful. Reserve at foxandhoundsrestaurant.com for your free dinner. Tonight, it's the Fox and Hounds.
I need a dollar, 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 that's what I need. Hey, hey, well, I need a dollar, dollar, dollar.
It's Spanning the State. I am Kristen Bry.
I'm Brian Noonan. What do you think it takes to be considered middle class in Wisconsin? Now, middle class
as a
used to be
household or as an individual?
A household, but individual goes with the same thing. If you want to live a middle class lifestyle, which used to be that was the goal for most people, and then it was, well, are you upper middle class? Are you lower middle class? Are you middle class? It all got kind of messed up. But when I was growing up, I think we were middle class or upper lower middle class, like the
what's upper lower?
It's the top end of the lower middle class. We're not the bottom of the lower middle class, but we're not big shots. But all that meant was that you had a place to live, you had a house, you could afford to send your kids to school. Maybe only one parent had to work, and everything was fine. You could, go on vacation maybe once a year and drive usually, but it was an attainable dream, and it's not so much anymore.
Anywhere?
Well, no, but here in Wisconsin, across the nation, the middle class is shrinking.
Yes, that's been a trend for a while.
Yes, household incomes are rising considerably since 1970, but adults living in middle-class households fell from 61% in 1971 to 50% in 2021. That's according to numbers from the Pew Research Center and their analysis of government data. So to be considered middle class in Wisconsin, you'll need a household income between what do you think the low end is, Kristen? Around.
Because what is it's okay? I'm just gonna guess because I don't know.
Gotta guess.
I would say middle class in Wisconsin household income is somewhere between $50,000 and $80,000.
Okay,
$1,000 a year.
You were very close on the low end.
Okay,
$47,326, which seems pretty low. Up to about $142,000. That is way too much of a range.
That's a big range.
Yeah, I mean,
people making $47,000 a year versus $140,000 a year. It's a big difference of lifestyle.
Yeah, I think if we talk to someone from each household and ask them if they were middle class, I'm going to guess the higher end income is going to say yes, and the people making $47,000 are going to go, well, we're struggling a lot, with rents and things. So the state's median household income is $70,996. So for reference, the Pew Research defines middle class income as 2/3 to double the median income in an area.
Say that again. So you take the median income of the area.
Middle class income is 2/3 to double the median income in the area.
Okay, so if the
double
median
would be 142.
Yeah. Okay.
And 2/3, I guess, then would be 47.
Feels like a suspect
Yeah,
way of measuring that.
I don't know. Nationwide, in a large U.S. city, middle-class income averages between $52,000 and $155,000. That was according to Smart Assets. So, to live as a middle-class person in Milwaukee is not quite as much as Wisconsin's average, which is nice. Milwaukee's middle class makes between $32,843 and $98,540. The city's median household income is $49,270.
Okay.
Again, those low ends seem. I think the whole definition of middle class has shifted because that's low.
Well, it's interesting because I think it depends on the definition you're working with middle class, right? So there's a definition they're using, which is like, well, we're just going to take the numbers are the numbers. And this is what we're saying is it's 2/3 up to double versus the interpretation of what we used to think middle class was, which is what you could afford to do and the type of home you could live in and the neighborhood that you lived in. And that being an indicator of being in the middle class versus a like black and white hard numbers definition.
Well, there's real world and then this is basically what you're saying. There's real world and then there's numbers. And
it's perception.
Yeah,
I think
if
you ask someone, like you just said, if you ask someone who is making closer from $35,000 to $50,000 for their household income, they probably would not consider themselves middle class, considering how much they may or may not be struggling, versus someone who, depending on how much self-awareness they have, is making close to $150,000 as a household and has extra spending money and stuff.
Sure.
Maybe would be aware that, we're doing better than most.
Yeah.
But who knows where they would put themselves on the map, as they say.
Well, it's one of those things where middle class used to be so much more inclusive, and I don't know where it all changed, where it all went wrong, but it is tougher. There's also another level that I hadn't brought up yet, but Wisconsin has one of the country's biggest racial wealth gaps.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So a report said that Wisconsin has the third largest racial wealth gap in the country, behind Washington, D.C. and North Dakota. I'm surprised that there's that much racial diversity in North Dakota, and I don't mean that glibly.
No,
I've been to North
to
Dakota.
be totally honest, that's exactly where my mind went too. I was like, I don't think of black people in North Dakota very often.
Nor do I. White Wisconsinites earn about 50% more than their black neighbors, according to this report, and black residents are around 244% more likely to live in poverty than whites here in Wisconsin. So.
Not great.
There you go. No, it's not feeling really good about the middle class anymore. I gotta just give in, just go low class.
Do you consider yourself middle class?
I'm going to stay where I was at the beginning of this conversation. I would be lower middle class, I think.
Okay.
I'm doing okay, but nothing where I could just kick back and not worry.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm doing better. I'm doing better than a lot of people. I'm not doing as well as a lot of people. So I'm somewhere toward
in the middle,
that lower part of the middle. Yeah,
all right,
that's me. All right, let's do this. Then there's more. It's spanning the state.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scafidi. I talk a lot about politics, but sometimes I just want to sit back and have a nice conversation about, well, whatever I want to on the Scafidiology podcast. Rick Barrett Low visionary.
It's of high design. It is what we are. And the couture it's tall, it's thin,